Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV, back to Menphilia.
I have been reflecting upon the events which took place during our visit to Vilbrand.
Okay.
If you have a moment, I would share my conclusions with you. Please, bear with me. When the Sahagin Elder summoned Leviathan, he employed the power we have come to know as the Echo. Though I cannot well explain the how of it, it would seem he became immortal in so doing. When the Admiral subsequently slew him, his spirit emerged from his lifeless flesh, a consciousness shorn of physical form. Thus transfigured, he took up residence in the body of his minion with the ease of a man donning a favorite glove. Long have I known that the Echo allows one to pass through the walls of a man's soul, but never did I imagine that it could free us from our own flesh, nor less that our souls could then occupy the next corporeal vessel to take our fancy. It was of this that Ul'dah spoke, an existence which knows neither cessation nor oblivion. And yet, though the Sahagin had mastered his gift and thereby become immortal, he was by no means invulnerable. As we both bore witness, he was ultimately absorbed into Leviathan. And the import of this observation? If the Ascians' mode of existence is indeed the same, it can be inferred that they too are not invulnerable, that they can be destroyed. There exists a legend which tells of souls who are reborn upon the cusp of each umbral calamity, that they might stay the encroaching darkness. To most, it is but a fairy tale, yet recent events have given me cause to wonder, could the legend in fact refer to the Echo? Much and more yet remains unknown, but I am confident that all will become clear in time. For the present, however, what matters is that the key to defeating the Ascians may at last be within sight.
Right, the Ascians have a similar kind of immortality, and as we have seen here, it can be interrupted.
With Urianger's aid, it is my hope that I shall fathom this matter ere long. Oh, I was just about to send for you, my friend. Is Artemis?
Grave tidings from the Sharlayan motherland, my lady. It doth concern our distant allies, the students of Baldessian.
What of them?
My lady, the Isle of Val, which for many years hath been the Order's home, is no more.
No more? Whatever do you mean?
The entire island, not just the people are killed, the island is gone.
I relate only that which hath been conveyed unto me by our agents. An etheric wave of the highest magnitude was recorded in the region. Soon thereafter, 'twas observed that the isle had ceased to be. 'Tis postulated that a magic was evoked, like in power to Ultima.
12 preserve.
If there are no other matters, I move that today's meeting be adjourned.
It is done, my lord.
How long was he sitting here for it to be this dark by now?
Forgive my impertinence, my lord, but these orders, I am uncertain as to what end they serve.
Revolution.
Revolution, he said. That sounds scary. Our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it awaits us not to speculate. Your Angel will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns the etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Morgulmok XII. With the Kingdoms no more as a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well within the Trollswood. Our latest readings reveal that an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees, hailing from Ul'dah this time, are come to Revenant's toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present, they are in the seventh heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread, and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear a suit. Desiree, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. This refugee crisis is a mess. Just as it is in real life. The Rising Stones, what a peculiar name for a sanctuary. On behalf of the Science, I bid you welcome to the Rising Stones. With your cooperation, we hope to grow rich and transform this place into a piling gold. Oh, this forgives me. I must see to the Doman needs. What if you wanted to solve a problem that's already happened, like the Guardians destroying Doma? History is our friend, young one. The answers to the problems of the present oft be found within the past. We need but seek them out. I've been tasked with helping out in the kitchen. Once I've grown accustomed to my duties, I hope to treat our coast to traditional Doman cuisine. An adventurer bends to no authority, but lives and acts according to his own beliefs. He is the master of his own destiny. In my native land there exist individuals not unlike these adventurers. Yet, without a master to serve, how does one know the path one must walk? Some 15 years ago, a mission took me to Ul'dah. It was then that I first chanced to gaze upon your beauty. I was utterly transfixed. I dared not blink lest I deprive myself of even a split second of your radiance. You do flatter me, dear. I do believe you have a bit too much to drink. You think this is impressive? In Doma we train to run in the treetops. Don't mind Papa Limo, he's making a fuss over nothing as usual. Your son's balance is amazing for a boy his age. I wonder how he got so good. Whatever Sevenals are you doing up there? Get down here before you fall and break your neck. Some of Domans wanted to learn how to fight and it's fallen to me to oversee their training. First I need to find suitable equipment for everyone. Anyway, off to the other refugees. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Mephilia and I lead the science of the Seventh Dawn. Treffy faced, it is you. We are ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourself. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. Beg your pardon, dissident. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one that got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner as than his palms, and he wrote. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I know we had to run. And the only question was where, and then it came to me. Revenant's toll. I mean, you took them foreigners, and didn't you? So, you'd surely do the same for us? I have fears that the situation is rather more complicated. While it's true that we accepted the Domans' petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it's not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it's with great regret that I must deny your request. But we have nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word? The Taru is out amiss? It's hiding from Ul'dah, milady. Alphinaud has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to our flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells, now the blades have an excuse. They round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. And then please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we got. My lady? We are not ones to stand idle by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding the riots, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If your authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinaud and quickly. If he's in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papa Limo will see to it. Alphinaud being treated at the hourglass. Hurry, Desiree. And so we go to Ul'dah. Hey, you look alright.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers, while more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Domans asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Convenient, isn't it? As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames? I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. Now's not a good time, Lieutenant. My hands are full dealing with refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alphinaud, back on your feet already? You may credit with my swift recovery to the co-agents. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Fanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine, given that the majority of the refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason they wouldn't know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that the tensions between the Ul'dah citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would it motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell the weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it's done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning soon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim without the necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk his responsibility. After all, he and the Sultan have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may be balked at the request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I meanwhile shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? You look as though you have something to say, Lieutenant. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual, even one with ties to the flames, may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well, the Brassblades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. Been a while since I've been here. And what brings you the adventure? Search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees? No, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. I didn't expect them to send you this way. I take it this means someone has read my report? The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I'm increasingly concerned that Zazavaka's suspicions were correct. You have no foggies what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind, speak with Zazavaka, he will explain everything. Don't hurt me, I'm not one of them. I beg your pardon, you're of the flames, but you're not with the flames? I see. If Lorfek bid you speak with me, then I take it you agreed to help? Turf be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account and taking Wedgewich's oath? Ha! Childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of a merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he bubbles incoherently. So traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he is not alone in surviving. Yet I have no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you? Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. When you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why don't you have to stay and leave me alone? Who are you? What do you want? It's true, I followed the merchant. May the gods strike me down for my folly. What will they not give you must take, you said. When we asked how, he revealed a catch of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and when everyone was fighting and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... oh gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Okay, do you know where the other group is? The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of a sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They're supposed to train us to fight, but once he sent with us, vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only they'd never listened to the merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. So, the Batman tactic, huh? Seven has found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for a rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. You should never have come here. And where are the twins? Oh! Didn't pay attention. Hoppala. Yeah, last time I did this a bit more over-leveled, I believe. Well, anyway, I did with a tank class anyway. And yeah, tanks are just a bit tougher than these flimsy mages. You beat him like it was nothing. Thought almighty, what we're gonna do now? And return. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. But have a handful of men take a beating from you when we're not getting butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? He wasn't there. But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? I think I end this episode here and we continue next time. Until then, I'm Mace and don't get lost.